Will start in 5 seconds. Start. Whether the Appellant Army Welfare Education Society is a state within Article 12 of the Constitution of India so as to make a writ petition under Article 226 of the Constitution maintainable against it. In other words, whether a service dispute in the private realm involving a private educational institution and its employees can be adjudicated upon in a writ petition filed under Article 226 of the Constitution, even if it is assumed that the Appellant Army Welfare Education Society is a body performing public duty amenable to writ jurisdiction, whether all its decisions are subject to judicial review or only those decisions which have public law element therein can be judicially reviewed under the writ jurisdiction. High Court committed an egregious error in entertaining the writ petition filed by the respondents' employees, herein holding that the Appellant Society is a state within Article 12 of the Constitution. Undoubtedly, the school run by the Appellant Society imparts education. Imparting education involves public duty and therefore public law element could also be said to be involved. However, the relationship between the respondents herein and the Appellant Society is that of an employee and a private employer arising out of a private contract. If there is breach of a covenant of a private contract, the same does not touch any public law element. The school cannot be said to be discharging any public duty in connection with the employment of the respondents. Para. It was held in St. Mary's Education Society and another versus Rajendra Prasad, Bhargav and others that merely because a writ petition can be maintained against the private individuals discharging the public duties and oblique or public functions, the same should not be entertained if the enforcement is sought to be secured under the realm of a private law. It would not be safe to say that the moment the private institution is amenable to writ jurisdiction, then every dispute concerning the said private institution is amenable to writ jurisdiction. It largely depends upon the nature of the dispute and the enforcement of the right by an individual against such institution. The right which purely originates from a private law cannot be enforced taking aid of the writ jurisdiction irrespective of the fact that such institution is discharging the public duties and oblique or public functions. The scope of the mandamus is basically limited to an enforcement of the public duty and therefore it is an ardent duty of the court to find out whether the nature of the duty comes within the peripheral of the public duty. There must be a public law element in any action. In the instant case, the relationship between the respondents herein and the Appellant Society is that of an employee and a private employer arising out of a private contract. If there is a breach of a covenant of a private contract, the same does not touch any public law element. The school cannot be said to be discharging any public duty in connection with the employment of the respondents. The following are features regarding the doctrine of legitimate expectation. First, legitimate expectation must be based on a right as opposed to a mere hope, wish, or anticipation. Secondly, legitimate expectation must arise either from an express or implied promise or a consistent past practice or custom followed by an authority in its dealings. Thirdly, expectation which is based on sporadic or casual or random acts or which is unreasonable, illogical, or invalid cannot be treated as a legitimate expectation. Fourthly, legitimate expectation operates in relation to both substantive and procedural matters. Fifthly, legitimate expectation operates in the realm of public law, that is, a plea of legitimate action can be taken only when a public authority breaches a promise or deviates from a consistent past practice without any reasonable basis. Sixthly, a plea of legitimate expectation based on past practice can only be taken by someone who has dealings or negotiations with a public authority. It cannot be invoked by a total stranger to the authority merely on the ground that the authority has a duty to act fairly generally. It is clear that legitimate expectation jurisprudentially was a device created in order to maintain a check on arbitrariness in state action. It does not extend to and cannot govern the operation of contracts between private parties, wherein the doctrine of promissory estoppel holds the field. In the instant case, the relationship between the administration of an institution and its employees remains a contractual one falling within the ambit of private law. Stop.